So with this show overall, and you forgot about Digimon story, Tim. I know you wanted to get that
Yeah.
one in, but we'll I guess
I
we'll
have
pass
I have I have two words on that one. Don't care.
it. I don't know what's your thought. I know you have a lot of good takes about this. I'm really interested to hear like what you think is wrong with it. Like why doesn't this stick? And for PlayStation, the platform of choice, the default platform this gen, to fumble these so badly. Are they not trying, Tim, or what is going on with these things?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. For my take, and what I would sit back and think is like, okay, if regular Joe gamer out there watches this show, they watch it one time, they're not jotting down notes.
Yep.
You show them 29, 30 games in 40 minutes. What are they taking away at that? Like, if you just watched this once and you weren't taking notes, how many games would you remember out of this show?
I would say when I got done watching this, I would have thought they showed like 12 or 15 games,
Yeah.
and it was like
I
30.
Yeah, no, I have 29 for my official count. I could be wrong. It might be like give or take one or two. I might have overcounted or undercounted. But yeah, it's just uh, you almost are throwing so many games at people that you're almost putting some of these games in a bad spot, in my opinion. I like it's how many like that looked okay. I'm not going to remember that. Like Directive 80/20,
Yeah.
right? Looked okay. But if like would remember that game if you just watched this straight through? Yeah, it almost feels like an obligation. Maybe you just do like 10 games at a time and you spread these out a little bit more or something and give some these games a little bit of spotlight and time to breathe and make a better case for why you should be interested in this game.
Right.
It 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, game, game, game. It's like, well, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all of this. It's almost like you're browsing a Netflix library.
That's a
Like
good
you're
way to put
just,
it.
yeah, yeah, like you're just like, okay, yeah, next, 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 and it's like, yeah, for me, I would have remembered maybe like 7 or 8 games out of this. I don't,
Yeah.
and like some of them even mesh together. All these third person Chinese developed games. I don't want this to sound harsh, but they looked samey.
Yep.
It's just like, okay, I don't really see what the differentiation is here. I think that like the main characters in some of those games weren't really calling out to me. They weren't super unique in any way. And I don't like this format. I just don't. Maybe it's popular, it could just be a me problem. I don't I don't think this is doing a lot of people many favors.
No, I mean, when you go back and look at it, like I'm scrolling through the list of games that were shown here, and some of these you might not remember the name of, Tim, but like Directive 80/20, that game looks like Hell is Us, looks like Lies of P, looks like Metal Eden, looks like I'm reading these games off, and as I'm passing them, like the art style and like all that looks very similar. And like, yeah, if they're shown back to back like this, you almost forget like where the one ends and the other one begins sometimes. And
Yes. Yeah,
sometimes,
that,
not like
yeah.
us, yeah,
Oh, sorry. But like there was like a stretch of Tides of Annihilation, Metal Eden, and
yep,
Mind's Eye, and you're just sitting there thinking like, and I they kind of dove deeper into Mind's Eye. I noticed they did two different kind of like there was a guy talking in between. I'm assuming that's like the head of the studio or dev lead or something like that. But yeah, it's boy, they just kind of mesh together as to one game in my mind
yeah,
after the fact.
yeah. And you almost start to remember, like, you almost put a title of one on the other one, and you don't quite
Yeah,
recall which is which. And like, the other problem I feel like with these shows is they're kind of conditioning. Like, I can speak for myself just as someone that is just like anybody else watching these shows, that I only really care what they're showing like at the end. I mean, I think they're getting people to anticipate the last game shown, sit through the slog in the middle and through the fluff and through all the contractually obligated games that they have to show, and then at the end, you'll be surprised with a Soros, with a Spider-Man 2, with a whatever. And I feel like too, like these are Sony's almost like shotgunning all these in a sense because it feels like they're afraid to have a showcase. Whereas like, Xbox literally will do these small shows like the Direct because they literally have so much to show everybody, and they in depth, and they dive in with the teams and stuff and show you a lot of interesting aspects of the games. And Xbox, this is what we talked about, before we even started to do a show, is that Xbox is building up to these years where they're going to have game after game, and Xbox is there now. Those games are all third party, luckily for PlayStation, but they feel like they do it right, whereas PlayStation almost, they're so behind. And like you said, it's so funny that oh shit, I lost my train of thought. You had mentioned that these games, like, is Soros really 2026, and like, are they behind because of the game as a service cancellations? And I'm sure that they are. And I really think that PlayStation does these smaller shows because they don't have enough for a showcase, and they're just like biding time. And you know what, it works because everyone's buying the console regardless.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you play to. Sometimes you just have to play the cards you're dealt. So
Yep.
Sony doesn't have the first party bangers this year. So yeah, partner up with as many third parties as you can. Make them appear to be first party. I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna hate the game. I again, yeah, like the Soros announcement for me. I just don't quite understand why it's there. I mean, I guess it's maybe a hype moment, but was it really though? I mean, I don't know. To me, it was like,
No.
okay, what is this? It's there's no in-game footage. It's just a CG trailer with a title card. So I don't know. There was enough here because I guess when you throw 30 games at you, you're bound to be interested in five of
Oh
them.
yeah.
It'd be pretty hard not to be, or why are you watching the show to begin with? So I get it in that regard. I just yeah, I think there's got to be some rethinking of the the level, the velocity that you're showing these, and are you doing these games any favors by showing them in this light? To me, I don't think so. I mean, I guess it never hurts to have some type of exposure, but I can't say it did much for me in most of these titles.
Yeah, I don't think, I think it's just what you said, where any exposure is good exposure. And certainly, if your game is a part of a PlayStation state of play, for better or worse, it's PlayStation, and that show is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 million views. And that's it's going to be better than just being a small studio and dropping a trailer for this and hoping that someone sees it somewhere. So I also get it. I'm not a fan of the format, and I think that fans in general, even PlayStation, like hardcore fans, I don't think they're very happy with the format. I think they're probably getting tired. I know I would, if every time a show was coming up, someone just said, "Oh, temper your expectations." Oh, temper expectations. Like, that would definitely suck after a while. But they do as they do, and like we said, me and you, Tim, kind of are the benefactors of this because we didn't really have much expectation, and we still came out of it with a couple cool things and uh, things to look forward to. But yeah, do you have
Well,
any? Go
it's
ahead.
always good to lower expectations. Don't
Yeah,
like at this point, if you're expecting some super hype announcement, you're the one that's setting yourself up for disappointment. So
yeah,
yeah, just keep it low would be my advice on that.
no doubt. Do you have any kind of closing thoughts on this, Tim, or anything else that you wanted to jump onto?
think so. No, I mean, again, there was a handful of games that I did think looked good here, and I'm excited for. So in that regard, I think it was good. But yeah, I'd say the show was like a 6 or a 7 for me,
Yep.
and yeah, that's fine. It's okay.
Good deal. Yeah, for me, again, is about a 7 out of 10. Solid show, but yeah, the highs were not very high, but the lows were not very low either. So I guess it was just one of them. But yeah, tell us what you guys think down in the comments section below. Join the discussion. Bring up a topic that you guys want us to maybe talk about in the future. In the near future, we will be having a game night and Tim kind of first ever Joust game review of Avowed. We will be posting some gameplay on here on the channel and just kind of reviewing it at the same time, going over things we like, things we didn't like, and giving a score. The both of us giving a score at the end of the video. So please look forward to that. And I think, like I said, Tim, if you're interested, we could do a Yakuza, Pirates Yakuza in Hawaii review at some point, maybe like early March or something if you want.
Yeah, I mean the game comes out tomorrow, and I'm not
Sure.
even, I'm trying to finish up Avowed here. So yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to be a little bit slow starting Like a Dragon, which is not something I expected, but yeah, that's the way this crazy February's rolling out.
Yeah. I'm hearing really good things, Tim. I don't know if you watched any reviews or looked at any reviews yet.
No, I didn't want any tainting of my opinion of anything. So I haven't looked at any reviews or anything
Yeah.
for either Avowed or Like a Dragon. I haven't really looked at much.
That's a good idea because for Avowed, like I heard one guy's review and he had a negative about it, and I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see it, but I'm like, ah, shit, I probably should
No,
just
interesting.
save but my thoughts. But yeah, so good deal. Thank you everyone for being here. We will catch you in the next one. Tim, thanks, sir.
Later.